Well, welcome everyone to our next round of Humans of Data Hub. Today we are joined by Sergio from Adevinta. So Sergio, do you want to give us an introduction? Tell us about yourself, your team, what you do, and all of that.
Okay. Hi, Maggie and everybody. Thanks a lot for thinking of me for these Humans of Data Hub interviews. I'm really excited. Well, my name is Sergio. I'm from Barcelona. Big data technologies have been my playground for my professional career. Started many years ago in some startups, then moved to the financial industry as technology consultant. And about 3 years ago, I joined Adevinta. Adevinta is a global classifieds specialist with market-leading positions around the world. Actually, Adevinta's portfolio spans about 40 marketplaces for real estate, jobs, motors, consumer goods, and so on, operating in 15 countries, covering 1 billion people and with around 3 billion monthly visits. So quite challenging and exciting for a data engineer like me.
Yeah, definitely.
And well, I joined as staff data engineer, and my team is responsible for a couple of products. The first product is about collecting all users' activity on the different marketplaces, storing the data in a data lake, and making the data easily accessible for analytics, machine learning, and so on. And the other product, since we are moving in Adevinta towards a decentralized model for the data management in the whole organization, the second product is about making the data exchange between data producers and data consumers as easy as possible. No? So we provide sort of managed services for filtering, transforming, routing, and dispatching the data, streaming and batch. And the goal is the users focus on the data itself, and we operate the service, taking care of the infrastructure, scalability, consistency, and so on.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's a good summary.
That's a lot of work to do, especially with that volume of data. That's a lot to tackle. I'm curious, how did you and your team first hear about, or how did you actually just first hear about the DataHub community?
Yeah, because of the nature of our organization with many marketplaces, the data ecosystem in Adevinta is really diverse and distributed. Our data lake is just one of the many existing data sources in Adevinta. So although we already had a custom data catalog for our data lake, we wanted to extend it to also include data sets from other data sources beyond our data lake. So at that moment, the options were either redesign the solution or adopt a new one. So we did an assessment on existing data catalog solutions, and we quickly found DataHub, when looking for candidates. It's obvious. And from that assessment, we firstly learned that redesigning our solution would be a lot of work, and also that DataHub was covering most of our needs. So it was a perfect match at that moment.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And Sergio, like, what do you enjoy most about the DataHub community?
Yeah, actually, having an active community was one of the evaluation criteria in the assessment. And well, DataHub got one of the best results that. Okay, so we quickly note that the community was very open and welcoming. And that gives us also the opportunity to somehow influence on the product by sharing use cases, requesting features, discussing and raising issues, and also, of course, by contributing to the source code, no? As we have.
Yeah, we love contributors. So I'm curious, with the rollout of DataHub, what is DataHub enabled within Adevinta so far?
Yeah, we are still in a rolling up stage.
Mm-hmm.
So at this moment we have about 40,000 data sets in production, which is a lot, but it's a tiny portion of all the Adevinta data ecosystem. So it's still a work in progress, I would say. But definitely, DataHub allows us to solve the data discovery problem, it was a big challenge in our organization, and we are solving it.
And with rolling out DataHub and using DataHub, like, what are you most excited to see in 2022 with DataHub? I will also say that when we first started doing Humans of DataHub, it was like January, so it's a new year, and now it's May. So yeah, what are you excited for the rest of 2022 and maybe even thinking about 2023?
Yeah. Well, actually, it's hard to keep the pace of the features that you release. Okay, we lag behind with the upgrades. It's a challenge in that sense. Okay, but looking at your roadmap, I'm really curious about the improvement to access policy management. Okay, at this moment, the management is done in the UI, so it requires manual operations, and our expectation here somehow is to be able to define roles and policies as code. Okay, so I'm curious about this how these improvements look like.
Yeah, John will be very excited to hear that feedback.
Right.
That's awesome.
And I'm thinking in the long term, no? So not sure if by 2022 or later, no? But the challenge I see is on, not just for DataHub, but when adopting this technology in our organization, is on the data governance, no? Because it also requires changing the culture of the people. A simple example, no? I like to share. Solving all the missing table or field descriptions, this is critical for effective data discovery, but it requires the people to adopt this data governance culture, or data quality. No? We can profile data sources, and so users can check the quality somehow, the quality of the data, but making data quality part of your dataset contract requires a new mindset. No?
Yeah.
So the challenge here is how to define these use cases so we can boost the adoption of this new mindset in the organization. No? It's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge. Yeah. The data, the culture component, right, there's no one tool that can solve that, right? But figuring out how do we, I think that's where I'm excited to see the DataHub community start to kind of cultivate more of those conversations around how do you start to shift that data culture within an organization? Because you can introduce all of the tools in the world, but ultimately you have to make them easy and approachable while also shifting human behavior along with it. So I'm super excited to see how we can start to, I really love the idea of DataHub being a community where we talk about those best practices and talk about those kind of campaigns or those initiatives and kind of learn from one another. There's a lot to learn for sure.
Yeah, totally agree. I think sharing our experiences in the community, it's a very good idea.
So it sounds like you all are maybe a little bit behind in your version. which is totally fine. We are setting releases very rapidly, but with your current instance, what's your favorite kind of use case within DataHub, or what do you find to be most kind of impactful within Adevinta in kind of your current deployment?
Yeah, well, we are just a couple of releases behind. It's not so
you're right there. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, from the user point of view, the search capabilities are really great, no? And also watching Lineas in action by connecting all the dots, all the data sets, is just absolutely amazing, no? Understanding where the data comes from makes a big difference. And as well as engineer, or as an integrator, no, which is my role here, it's not about a feature or use case, but we like the model-centric approach in your architecture, no? It's abstract and generic enough so it adapts to many data sources, while capturing all the particularities at the same time. And also it can be extended if needed, no? And we also love the stream-based model for both publishing the metadata and the consumption, no? We are still not focused on the consumption beyond the UI, but definitely the new DataHub Actions framework, which is really fresh.
Yes.
is really promising on the use cases that it may enable.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so excited for that. I'm so excited for it.
And you kind of touched on this earlier, but within our DataHub community and within Slack, like, what is your favorite Slack channel and why?
Yeah, well, I think you are doing a great job in terms of communication by having different channels with different purposes. That really helps to reduce the noise, no, and keep the focus. But well, as engineer, definitely the troubleshoot channel is the one I love the most, no, because it's the one solving my problems when facing some issues. So it's great. But well, it's not a Slack channel, but I also like a lot the town hall sessions, okay, because well, they are great to keep track of the progress and also learn about the new features, no? Sometimes a 5-minute session is much better than any documentation and so on.
Right. Yeah, it's good. A nice way to kind of contextualize all of the stuff we're cranking out. All right. So one final question for you. You've been a tremendous contributor back to the code base. So not only are you active in the community, and not only are you jumping in to help other people, but you also contribute back to the code as well. And I'm curious, kind of thinking back to your contributions, is there one that you're particularly proud of, or one that you feel like solved an interesting problem and that you just wanted to kind of give back to the community?
Yeah, well, yes, there is one contribution about adding the platform instance capability to the Glue connector. And well, I'm really proud, no, or happy with that contribution, not because it was especially complex or tricky, but because it sowed up a misunderstanding using the environment for the platform instance, and so affecting other connectors too, no? So I was really happy on finding such a hiding issue, let's say, and more importantly on helping on the resolution. So happy for that.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Awesome. Well, thank you for taking the time with us. We really appreciate you and all the awesome work you're doing within the community. And and we'll continue to see you out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So much,
thanks
Sergio.
a lot, and looking forward for seeing the new features and so on in DataHub.
We'll keep them coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.